I don't think I've ever had to sit through our opening.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sith Happens, the Star Wars podcast. I am Eric the Dadalorian, and as you can tell, we're doing something a little different today. We are on a new streaming platform for our podcast here. So first and foremost, excuse us if it doesn't look like we know what we're doing, because we certainly don't know what the hell we're doing. But the trick is we never did. Now, I am joined by three loveliest individuals, my two usual counterparts and partners in crime, Black Series Daily Desk, also known as Matty Ice, and I am Not a Committee, also known as Ant. How we doing, brothers?
Hello, sir. Doing great. I am Matty Ice, otherwise known as Black Series Daily Desk. Very pumped for tonight's episode, and for those listening, which right now I see our dear friend Howl Runner just checked in, and I know our studio producer Jen, my wife, is also here. We have a great show that's going to be a lot of fun, but also quite the contest announcement to close out our day. Howl Runner, you're going to be a fan of this, Howl Runner. You're going to be a fan of this contest.
So if you guys are watching, stick to the end.
Contests are one of those things that I love, but I am not good at, like bowling. And I'm doing great tonight.
You're not good at commenting, liking, and subscribing something.
No, I'm not good at that either. But I do as
following. All right. Well,
I'm usually the one winning these things, right? If I answer it, do I still win it?
Absolutely not. We've already discussed this.
No. Rigged.
It was a fake news. Man.
Shenanigans, I say.
Yeah, anyway, Ann, would you like to introduce yourself? Guys, we took 2 weeks off, so you got first day of school.
Committee is my name, and I'm doing great.
do great.
I've been excited for this particular episode for a couple of weeks now, so I'm gonna let Arie introduce himself and let us get going.
Let's rock and roll.
Hey, it is me, friend of the show, Arie Stardust, formerly a name that is too long for me to pronounce every time I join the show, which is why I have a new name. And let me tell you what, little known fact, I am a gigantic sports talk show nerd. So when I was asked to join an episode of Sith Happens called Hot Takes on a Tuesday, I immediately joined up. We will be channeling our inner Stephen A. Smith tonight. Let's go.
Absolutely. I mean, with that, it's Hot Take Tuesday. Do we want to start?
Indeed, it is.
Yeah. Do we want to start and give some hot takes, boys?
We'll jump right into it. So but like I said earlier, for everybody who is watching the show right now, we do appreciate you guys joining us. And with that, with any potential weird stuff that might be happening, given that we have never gone and done one of these, we are actually streaming right now to YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So forgive us if we kind of are going through a learning curve. We just jumped to this new streaming platform, StreamYard, right off the get-go. I think it's going to work really good for us. Please tell us in the comments what you guys think of the stream and if this is a better platform and if this is working for us. We really genuinely would appreciate your guys' insight on what you guys think of this new platform for streaming the podcast. Now, that being said, we are going to go ahead and jump straight into some hot takes. And Matt, I know I talked to you before the show. Do you mind if I just jump straight into this? Because this is a hot topic, and I'm actually really for everybody who
I don't mind either.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that.
Well, I said I was going to go first. That's why he asked me specifically.
So, fun thing too, we get background music with this app too. If you can't hear that, so. But anyways, guys, so what my hot take is essentially so we had the news, I think it was a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. We've been off the podcast for a little bit, just busy with life and everything like that. But my hot take is, we had the Gina Carano news where Disney settled with her out of court, given the lawsuit that's been going on for years now, from her getting fired from The Mandalorian, given some of her political views and everything like that. And my hot take is nobody really gives a shit.
I agree. I think my hot take is I love anybody that is super stoked about this. First of all, they issued a statement saying we look forward to talking with her in the future. She's not back in Star Wars. She got a lot of money.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's all right, sorry, no, fresh out of parts. But also anybody that's really excited about this, it is freedom of speech won. It's I don't know, man. She posted a picture of Nazis dragging people out of their home and likened it to people being mad about her tweets. That's a reason to get fired from work. If I did that, I would get fired from my job. So It's sort of to me, it's freedom of speech is not equal freedom of consequences. In this case, all right, they paid her out so she would stop complaining. It makes the fandom menace feel like they're vindicated in some way because, I don't know, woke's dead, whatever, however that makes them, stand up and cheer. But otherwise, it's sort of they're never going to work with her again, and maybe now I never have to hear this again. So that's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Great, never talk about it again. Is my response.
Yeah, I guess my only complaint about it is I had forgotten about it, and then it got brought back up with all things.
That's fair. I think I had too.
To be fair, I'm not referencing Eric's hot take. I love the hot take.
Yeah,
I'm referencing when it got brought back up recently within the last couple of weeks. I'm shit, this again.
I think it's unfortunate that that's a hot take in our community in general, because I think we have some audio issues. Hold on. I think it's unfortunate that that's a hot take in our community, because just thinking about the message of Star Wars, the idea that that is something that you're leaning on, as kind of an unjust firing is sort of, it's I mean, we know there's a lot that we talk about on the cast, and that's not what this episode's about, but it's just lightly disturbing. So to me, she got paid out. Disney made a statement that's yeah, guys, we actually think she's pretty cool. And anybody that had an opinion still has the same opinion. So let's just move on to Tamora Morrison begging people to beg Disney to put him in Star Wars movies, which we can talk about that another week. But I'm just dude, you're gonna blow it for yourself here.
Oh, man. We can talk about it this week.
Oh, we can actually. Yes,
we get to.
Yeah. Well, I kind of want that hot take you come up. Arie and I might have rehearsed a little. We're gonna do a little method acting. But yeah, I agree, Eric. It's who gives a shit at this point? And anybody who does can pound sand on Tatooine.
I'm gonna be voice of hot takery here, and I'm gonna say that yes, nobody cares. However, this was a character that people liked that she played.
Yeah,
undoubtedly, 100% agree.
Yes, I don't know this for sure, but I had seen in the internet verse that her character was killed off screen in the comics, and if that's true, we say, big whoop, let's move on. But if it's not, then there are people who are oh, does this mean that this character can be back? Doesn't necessarily.
Oh, it's fair.
The level of the fandom may change in pertaining to the character, not the actress.
And
we want to see Cara back if she's alive.
So my thing though too is I like the character. I like a lot of the physicality and the facial acting. I don't think she was particularly the world's greatest actress, which you don't have to be in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But before this, when they were going to do the Rangers of the New Republic show, that was going to have her as a headliner, all I was thinking was I give all Star Wars a chance, but having to watch her cardboard acting anchor in 8-episode series is going to be, maybe I'll be wrong. I want to be wrong, but I was kind of we get just the amount we need of her in Mandalorian. I don't know if her getting her own show. I mean, think about how mad her agent must have been, though. You're going to live out every little boy's fantasy. You already are. You're running down the hallway shooting dark troopers with a machine gun. You know what I mean? Hitting stormtroopers in the face with a butt of your rifle, and then you just got to drop that tweet, and now everybody loses money.
And I think that's the one thing that really sucked about it is just the character had so much built up for her, and they could have done so much, but just like there was just so much controversy behind everything, and it just turned into such a shit show. At a certain point, it was just like, ugh, like I got tired of hearing about it. Honestly,
Yeah,
loved
and
the character, would have loved to see more of her, but it was just like it's just getting stupid at this point.
yeah, I think I would agree with a little bit of pretty much everything you guys have said. But in addition to that, I do want to add on when it comes to the show. I agree. I did love the character. At the same time, since she's been off of The Mandalorian, have I liked it any less? No.
That's how I feel. It's like there's still plenty of fun characters that
Yeah,
pop
and
in
that's
and
what
out
The
that we
Mandalorian
love.
is really all about.
Yeah, like
all these.
I don't feel
these
like
side quests, cool little aliens and stuff. Like, yeah, again,
It sucks a little bit with Carl Weathers having passed away last year.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because
So we've lost now two
Yeah.
characters from the pool,
Of the
and
first season.
IG-11 is now sitting around doing nothing. You know,
Well, no,
it's-
I mean, we don't know what's going to happen to Mandalorian and Grogu because
yes.
at this point, like IG-11 became the marshal of
right,
Navarro, right? And then so ultimately,
I was
they're
really
gonna run-
hoping that they were going to pull in our boy Cobb Vanth for that role,
Yeah.
but I
Something from Hal Runner came in as well. Didn't she say some stuff about Pedro Pascal or vice versa? Can't see them working on a project together again. The thing is, and I want you, and don't forget this, Hal Runner. Pedro Pascal like literally never wore the helmet. That was Brendan Wayne who pretty much played as.
But he wore it when they take it
the
off. So,
Mandalorian.
yeah, a couple scenes.
Very, very rarely. I mean, even when we get the Mandalorian and the Grogu movie, it's going to kick back to like what we've seen in, like the majority of seasons 1 through 3, where he doesn't take off his helmet. It's very, very rare. So I don't think that would have been a factor, but I do think what you said had weight, and like they did have some tiff about it, and I think it has something to do with transgender shit or something like that.
I think they couldn't be further apart on
politically.
On political views, so I can see that happening.
I mean, one thing that's not a hot take is she's an asshole. But
can't see a dinner party with all the actor gang, with some cocktails and someone lets something slip, and everyone gets offended.
Matty's A and V department coming in.
Yeah. Our studio producer Jen, you can't go after the internet's boyfriend Pedro Pascal.
No one's going after Pedro.
He is everybody's boyfriend. All right, that man is a treasure. Sexuality is a spectrum, and all of us lean Pedro. All right, that's just the thing. All right,
that's true.
Man can spoon me any day. But yeah, I think that. I mean that she sucks. Anyway, so
and Pedro rules.
Pedro rules.
We've talked it to death, so I think we all can talk. Anyways,
I got a new horse for us to beat into the ground. I'm just kidding.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Let's go.
All right, so here's mine.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Yeah. I feel like Arie's been doing push-ups and breaking beer mugs over his head, ready for this conversation. But anyway, so
my pulse is pumping.
I'm gonna address something that has been really bothering me since Andor. And it's something that like I didn't think would bother me, but seeing it in the community, but then also like in me trying to think about just like Star Wars in larger context, right? And I think for me, I think everybody needs to stop using the term peak Star Wars because Star Wars is like a Cheesecake Factory menu. I'm serious. And, it's like there's a kids menu where you have things like Resistance and Jedi, Young Jedi Temple Archives or whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. You have, stuff that's more lighter fare but exciting with some depth like Mando. You have Rebels, which, is a cartoon that is my favorite cartoon. Very spiritually connected to the OT. The OT, which is really everybody here's Bible. You get into things like Andor that's very heavy sci-fi and commentary. And there is a place for all of it. I personally, a part of what made me come to this opinion is when Andor was over, I was having a lot of trouble taking photos, and I watch so much Star Wars every week. It's kind of what I do after work every day for an hour, just to unwind. And I'm serious. I just pick something, even if I don't finish the movie. And I was having trouble because Andor was so powerful and I needed a moment to decompress from it. But during that time, you had a lot of fans going, that's peak Star Wars. That's what Star Wars should be. That's, this other stuff is shit. This is like, now you can see how dumb Obi-Wan or how Ahsoka was. And the reason why we need to eliminate peak Star Wars, there is no such thing as peak Star Wars. Peak Star Wars is what is the part of Star Wars you love. and the thing that you care the most about. So to me, I couldn't say peak Star Wars, but there's so much joy I have when I watch Rebels. There's so much tears I cry when I see, when I watch Andor at the end, when I saw Ahsoka, when Ezra's in we always do spoiler alert, but like if you're watching the show, odds are you've seen most of Star Wars. Like in Ahsoka, when he's in the ship with Huyang and he's trying to build a lightsaber, you don't know what he's doing, and it's Kanan's emitter, getting the chills from that. There's so much beauty in Star Wars and things that you enjoy. And when people say peak Star Wars, it diminishes, and there's stuff I don't like, right? That's not peak for me. But I mean, like, when you say peak Star Wars and try to say something to somebody else, this is peak Star Wars, this is perfect Star Wars, you can say it's my favorite Star Wars. Saying it's peak is starting to carry a connotation of superiority, and that has no place in this fandom. The point of Star Wars is to enjoy it. So like, I'm making a point of saying that's my favorite Star Wars, or this is why I like that. It feels like the original trilogy to me, because it also doesn't invite debate when you say it's peak Star Wars, because then it becomes a whole,
this is a fact.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my hot take. Maybe just like an old man yelling at a cloud, but that's my hot take. Hal Runner's on board with me. Peak hot take, Matt. Thanks, Hal.
Well done, Matt. I mean,
I like that one. That's good, actually.
I think that we had a similar sidebar conversation, much smaller than that. You hadn't fleshed this all out yet.
Yeah.
But, wow.
You ready to debate? I sidewinded you. I gave you a little misdirect by accident.
Good.
Yeah. I'm a scoundrel son of a bitch. Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna come off like an asshole.
All right, on that note,
jump right into it.
Everybody agrees. Let's go, jerk.
Yeah,
all right.
I think before you start, what I want to say is, I mean, Matt, you basically I feel like you kind of hit like how I feel exactly about like what you just explained. I'm like, that's probably why I feel the way I feel. That's like, I've never really thought of using that term. Like, I'll use it in conversation if I have to, but yeah, I think it is not a very kind term to use, because it basically, like we said, it will degrade another person's opinion essentially if they don't agree with you.
And it shouldn't, but people use it to decisively do that. Like, Arie, I love that this when you say that, or this.
Because to enforce that, it's funny, I use this as an example. I was contemplating, but like, when I'm in conversation with someone I don't know well, say on Instagram, like, I'm hesitant to even, if we're talking about it, I'm like, should I tell them that I like the Acolyte? Because I'm like, what if they don't? And then
okay, like, careful now, careful.
Careful,
and that's stupid, because like, there are tons of people which that like you said, like different things. So I think it's an awesome hot take that we fortunately all agree on.
Yeah, and I'll say to you that I goof on you a little bit sometimes, because I know, like, I don't like something I think we're going to talk about later, and you rewatched it to try to just like it, and you're like, I just can't. One of the things, like, we try to keep the past. This is hot takes, but I think we know it's us, so it's pretty pretty easy hot takes, not like insightful. But I think a thing about you is, like, sometimes I'll say I don't like something. Generally, you kind of like everything, and I think that it's something, as much as I might bust you a little bit, that I admire your exuberance for this in a way that, like, I think that you are the truest. We're all Star Wars fans. I'm not saying anybody's not a true Star Wars fan, but you are like one of the truest blue. Just give me Star Wars and make me smile. I don't care what you want to watch today, even if it's a show I don't watch that often. And like, I'll be like, I'm in the mood to watch Star Wars, but I'm not in the mood to watch that episode. But like, you would just be like, yeah, man, throw it on. And I think that as a compliment to you is that rubs off on people. Like, you're like a beacon of positivity when it comes to this, and it's something really special, man.
Well, absolutely, I agree.
My hot take is that I love Anthony. All right, Arie. Let's go, Jerk.
Love accepted.
All right. I'm going to preface by saying recently in one of the groups that we run in on the Instagram, there was a conversation detailing everybody's favorite Star Wars shows specifically.
I'm in that group.
And it, like Anthony just said, it was painful for me to admit my favorite show because people hate it.
You're gonna do it to the world right now.
I'm gonna do it right now. It's Book of Boba Fett. Boom. Hot Take Tuesday.
This is the one. We're getting into it.
Yep.
But
All right.
is it? Go.
It is.
Sorry.
We're going right. We're
All right,
going
be
right
quiet. All right,
there.
we're going eye contact right now.
We are. I could talk all day about Book of Boba
I hope you're
Fett.
ready for the interwebs to come after you.
Oh, I
so.
know. I'm ready. And today I'm coming in with the hottest of the hottest hot takes for Book of Boba Fett. And that is the chase scene is not only Star Wars gold. It's not just my favorite. It is peak Star Wars.
Wait, you're talking about the chase scene in episode 3?
Too
I
far
am
now.
talking about
Okay,
the chase.
first of all, go
Hot
fuck
Take
yourself.
Tuesday.
This is just to piss me off.
Here we go.
Yeah, for the record,
He's not, man. He's not
for the record, everybody, just to give you guys context, and Arie's going to finish the statement. I am never a toxic fan, and everybody here can attest to that. The only time I'm a toxic fan is episode 3 of Book of Boba Fett. It was the first time they're chasing the spy kids on bubblegum motorcycles at 2 miles per hour. I know where you're going with this, and I don't disagree, but I hate
You
it.
need to stop.
Reel it in. Reel it in.
Time.
He's our guest.
It's Arie's hot take.
I appreciate your
friend.
opinion and the fact that you are coming at me like this.
Okay, I know where you're going with this.
Do you though?
It's the deal with Book of Boba Fett entirely, and that's that it subverts expectations. If there's one thing Star Wars fans loathe, it's their expectations being subverted.
Yeah, that's true.
And I am right there, because if any one of you is going to come on and say, you know what, Ahsoka Thrawn is the best Thrawn, I'm going to punch you in the throat. You are
fuck
wrong.
off, it's the same Thrawn. Okay, go on.
The Zahn trilogies, no wait. And now you guys are going to come at me for disrespecting Heir to the Empire.
Yeah.
Moving on.
No, Ahsoka Thrawn is the best Thrawn. All right, go on. Sorry.
Wrong. We are hot taking there.
Yeah,
all
we'll
right.
do this later.
Before we go too far into this,
Uh-oh. Yes, love it.
Yeah, what a quality moment. I'm just kidding. I like that episode. But anyway,
so back to expectations and them being subverted. It's Star Wars. We expect Tom Cruise style chase scenes. And I've written about Tom Cruise chase scenes in the past and how they do not matter whatsoever. It's just about Tom Cruise's ego. Moving on. We expect scenes like Anakin and Obi-Wan chasing Zam Wesell on the streets of Coruscant, Kira and Han escaping Moloch on Corellia, the epic speederbike chase scene from Endor, even that Pisana speeder chase from Rise of Skywalker. They fly now? And did we get another chase where big name heroes
you're just going around the horn pissing people off
in a
right
showy,
now.
flashy chase? No.
you're playing with fire right now.
Yeah,
I am playing Hot Take
with
Tuesday,
sequels.
guys.
You're fucking with Thrawn.
So what do we get? We get a well choreographed chase. Yes, it's a well choreographed chase. It is slow and it is incredibly low stakes. It is not Fast and Furious. No, this is me driving my 1992 Ford Escort with a faulty transmission. It's being driven by an assistant mayor whose biggest crime in life is being a little bit of a sleaze-mo. He's going to do.
I'm so glad you're on.
He's going to go the speed limit. This is his city. Yes, he's going to do some property damage, but he's not going to do anything major. He doesn't commit crimes. He's a people person. And who's chasing him? A bunch of kids who just got the equivalent of their first piercings and tattoos. They're riding their mopeds because they thought they were awesome, and they've got a regulator on them. Again, this is low stakes. This scene has a rare lack of a lead character involved, preventing us from knowing the results of the chase. It's silly. Yes. It's fun. Yes. It's realistic in the fact of those things I just said. And this is a Robert Rodriguez-led triumph. And most importantly, to the plot, the fact that it's so slow allows Boba Fett to actually catch up with them by jetpack. And that is seen. Hot Take Tuesday.
Okay, yeah, you definitely subverted my expectations because my expectation was to be thrilled. So I will say this, and you know what's funny? I thought of my own rebuttal for it, and it's where I thought you were going. but it was not. Where you're going. Like my own rebuttal for like why you could argue the speeder like thing. So I feel like I'm now perfecting your hot take, but it's that if you think about it, overall, everything you're telling me, and I get that it's what you wanted.
It adds up.
It's kind of janky. What's going on in old Star Wars is kind of janky.
Oh, it is.
So like, I'll give you that. I think honestly, like that chase, it is like the bane of my existence in a show that I think from episode 4 onward is excellent.
But can you explain why you don't like that again?
Hollow Runner, I apologize.
You know,
I promise.
Oh, he's just Arie. That was my favorite hot take. You had like a dartboard with 90 hot takes, and you were just throwing them at it to pepper him in. You're sorry. Like also Rosemary Sue. But like the reason why I don't like it is there's a couple reasons. I think the first episode for Book of Boba Fett for me is like fine. It's like a 6.5 out of 10. The second episode is like an 8 out of 10. I think they did what they needed to do with the Tusken train robbery. And it was awesome. It was like a Wild West chase. Mm-hmm. Then you get into this next episode, and now you're going to finally see, as a whole, Black Chrysanthemum, who Star Wars 15 from Marvel, I even know the issue number, his premiere showing how he got his scar from Obi-Wan, right to seeing him in Afra, watching him in Vader Down, crush Han Solo's freaking blaster, and then that sets the continuity for why he has a different blaster in Empire Strikes Back, right? To see all that, so now not only do I have this, like, and I didn't mind them in the final shootout, the Spy Kids, it's just specifically this thing, that you have this kind of like lackluster Black Chrysanthemum is what Jen calls them. You have this lackluster.
Now I'm triggered.
Yeah. And you have this. Jen agreed that Andor is subversive, and to Arie's defense, so is Book of Boba Fett, which is true. This like lackluster race, and then you have Black Chrysanthemum, who in the next episode rips the arms off of a Trandoshan. Right? He basically, after you have this lame chase, and I'm sorry, Arie, it doesn't excite me. I love you, and I get why you like it, but it's not for me. It's not for a lot of people, but then you have Black, like that. I was like, okay, I can live with this. But then now I'm finally going to get to see Black Chrysanthemum in action against who else but Boba Fett, and he effectively tries to hug him to death, and then is defeated by the Spy Kids, who essentially stab him with chopsticks. So like, it's just like the whole episode for me was like,
you can't even call them the Spy Kids, dude. It was like the fucking Star Wars version of the Warriors.
The mods, the Warriors. But anyway, but then I like them in the final episode. So it's just that specific, and
like that for
Space Wizards. It's a children's story about Space Wizards.
Yeah,
and
you got to remember that.
No, listen. In the end, I don't mind. I like them later on in the show. There was something about this episode for me specifically, and this is like a personal critique, right?
Here's the thing
that like I just did everything and it subverted my expectations, Arie, for sure. But everything I was excited to see. Well, I could run faster than they were driving, and I'm 295 pounds. Like I just it's like
everything with those kids. I just expect, like I did the Warriors thing a second ago. I was like, I just expect them to go, Chrysanthemum, come out to play.
But I will tell you my favorite thing to tell people is when they get mad, because I love that show genuinely, other than that episode. I love the last 4 episodes. Is when people complain about him not being in very much of the middle. I'm like, all right, what do you guys want? You said this isn't the Boba Fett from your childhood. Well, now he's in something. He's got 8 minutes. He's got 4 minutes of screen time and 2 lines of dialogue. That is the Boba Fett you grew up with. So I don't know what to tell you. Pick a lane, people.
No, I think first of all, Arie, thank you for delivering that with such passion.
It was excellent, by the way. I love you.
I have to live up to that, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm not going to. But that to me,
also you're never coming back on the show.
I figured I had to go full Stephen A here.
Yeah, started out friend of cast, I guess.
That was awesome. But now, Eric, you derailed my train of thought.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, Matt, it's not just you is the thing though. So we're not we're not targeting you.
No,
And
I know.
because I'm totally on board with.
I know you're on board with Arie. I know.
Here's the thing with these shows. Like, unlike you, I don't rewatch them. I wish I could, but I don't rewatch them as often. So they're like, when I rewatch them, genuinely, like half the time, like I don't remember until it's that scene. Like,
Yeah.
But if I can remember an episode or scene, I tend to think that that's something that I enjoyed in that moment. And from Book of Boba Fett, I shit you not, that's the only one scene in particular that I can vividly remember is that scene. So I'm like, yeah, I probably liked it, but I get it. It's slow. Like we've talked about it. We'll beat it death.
I will say, but one positive about that show is the episode that Boba's barely in. You get Luke Skywalker, Ahsoka, and Cad Bane's intro. And I got to tell you guys, and Jen will attest to this, whenever I rewatch that episode, it's just a involuntary reaction. When you see that silhouette in the desert, I stand up. I have to watch Cad Bane. You should have never given up. Never let him give up. You should have never given up your armor. Boba Fett is a cold-blooded criminal who worked for the Empire.
I that one a couple
rewatched the entire show to prepare for today.
For me to agree with you on all but one point.
And you know what? I hated Cad Bane being in the show.
What the? Are you fucking for real?
And today, I cried. I loved it.
It's so good. Well, the thing is, there's a Clone Wars arc that didn't make air in season 6 where Boba actually kills Cad Bane, and Cad Bane shoots Boba Jango's helmet that Boba's wearing and puts the dent in. Look it up. That was supposed to happen. So knowing that was supposed to exist, and I will tell you, Arie, I hear you. I have a lot of friends who felt like you, and they also all kind of came aboard. I will tell you this from a casual fan standpoint.
See, I like Cad Bane in there.
I love Cad Bane in it, but from a casual fan standpoint, my dad does not watch a lot of Star Wars, and he was like, Cad Bane's the coolest character I've ever seen.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure our dad would think that too.
He was absolutely chilling. I have it written in my notes here. Chilling. I used to think it was stupid he was there. Like, I have grown on this.
Well, I love you for it. I will try to rewatch the episode and grow tomorrow. And I will even comment in our thing if I have changed my mind. Or I'll do a debunk next week on my own self. All right, we got the next hot take ready to go.
Am I up?
You're up.
Or Arie, do you have another one?
No, I'm
sorry.
We're all doing one, and then we'll go from there.
I'm sorry.
Don't keep him going.
Man, this one shows our time.
Listen, he's on thin ice.
32 minutes. We're good.
Yeah.
Hey, Eric, don't worry. I only have 3 pages to go over.
All right.
Although you guys made notes, Eric. You guys made notes, and Eric and I are just like, we're just gonna jabber. Oh
no, this is not it. Anyway, so
fuck it, we'll do it live.
My hot take for tonight is gonna be that Luke Skywalker from the sequel trilogy is the best version of Luke Skywalker.
100%.
I don't have to make an argument for that.
No,
you don't have to for me either on this one, but I want to hear your argument.
Yeah, I want to hear your
for all of our fans and for Eric's rebuttal.
Our studio lead over there, Jen, is like, yes.
Okay, so here's the thing: when this to me, this version he does fully really complete the arc, because in the original trilogy we know Luke as he's in training, he's a hero in training, really. In the sequels, he's fully human, but he has the flaws of a Jedi Master who has lived the cost of being that hero that we saw growing up in the trilogy. So it's hard to say that we knew him, because we really didn't know him. We had a snapshot of Luke's life. So he becomes what Yoda, Ben, and Qui-Gon failed to be, basically a Jedi who had failure as a part of his mastery, in essence. So to me, he completes the arc.
I know you have more notes than that.
Yeah,
it's a couple of comments that came in too.
Yeah, Jen and Hellrunner both agree that Luke is overrated. I want to get into that, but I also want to say, Ant, I agree with you, and I think it makes him a far more interesting character. And when people are like, well, that's not the Jedi, which one of my hot takes coming up later is about that if we get to it. They're like, we can do another episode of this, but that's not the Jedi. The Jedi's legacy is wild hubris, failing, hiding. He's doing exactly what the Jedi do. And as a character, Book of Boba Fett, my friend, you can see his still impatience. He has to lick Grogu because Grogu can't walk fast enough. That all sets up the character that you're seeing in the. It's to me more plausible than Luke becoming an uber Jedi. But I want to hear from Eric because he's the only one that disagrees, and we can.
Well, let me see this
other
before we hear from because, like, with what you're saying, like a lot of people think that he, in essence, this version of him ran away and abandoned the galaxy and everybody he loved and all of his friends. And so I would argue it's not cowardice, it's more of a conviction. Like Luke believes his Jedi Order dogma causes more harm than good, removing himself. It's ending that vicious cycle that has been going on for so long. It's consistent with his moral code. Like he's refusing to act in a way he thinks will go and make things worse. Everything up until this point is proven to have failed. How is anything he does going to change that? So why would he continue this? It's the that's also so that's in rebuttal to your kind of what you. Not rebuttal, but to go.
And I think Eric, when you're done, I do have something to say about him trying to kill Kylo Ren. But I want to hear from Eric on this one, since he is the only one who disagrees here. All right, brother.
I will to the day I die. First and foremost, I respect you guys' opinions. If that is your favorite version, that what, good for you. I have made it no secret in the past. I am not a big proponent of the sequels, and it is nothing to do with really particularly one thing. I just did not like the way that they were done. And I think one of the biggest things for me was particularly how Luke's character was portrayed. And I think, and part of this goes back to an interview Mark Hamill did himself, even where it, like what Luke did in the sequel trilogy, as far as going off, hiding, like for the basically essentially the rest of his life, minus sort of pseudo training Rey for 3 days and Force Ghost appearing on Crate. It fundamentally goes against who he was as a person, because, yes, the whole thing with Kylo Ren turning and destroying the Jedi Order, that can shift somebody. But where Luke was at his point in that point in his life, essentially, he had brought Darth Vader back from the dark side. And this is, we don't really know too much about what happened in that time span. They haven't alluded to like tons of it. So like heir to the Empire type of thing and everything like that. We don't know what's canon, what's not. But essentially, like the Jedi that he was would not have not so much abandoned, but just not given up. I don't believe, and that's kind of my thing on it.
Can I make a counter to that for you really quick? If that's cool.
By all means, man.
I think a lot of I think a lot of what people, and again, like in the comments, first of all, that Howl Runner and Jen are saying they actually don't like Luke. They think he's overrated, and neither of them are actually fans of Empire. They find his whininess, would be my guess, what bothers them. I personally don't. I like Luke. Han's always going to be my favorite since I was a kid. Though
he's an 8-year-old kid in that movie. Of course, he's whiny.
Yeah, I mean, but so what I am going to say, to the point that you're making, right? A lot of the Luke that a lot of people lean on, myself included, when I went into the movie, after I watched the movie a bunch of times. I actually like it more each time I watch it. I still have a couple really big gripes that we've covered on the show. Akbar should have been Holdo. But anyway, so they changed that. I'm good with everything else. But so I think that there was a lot of canon before everything was decanonized. So there is a perception of who Luke is that is built and predicated upon what happened in Legends after Return of the Jedi. And
undoubtedly that plays into my opinion.
100%. And so what I think the thing is, if you can wipe that away a little bit, you don't really know Luke. You know Luke as he's kind of maturing, and then maybe there'll be more. You gave me a great thought during this, by the way, Eric, if I might say. We always like muse about what could happen in Ahsoka, and there's the potential that we'll have the mother in Ahsoka season 2, and that'll be a part of this, like whatever the Empire, the battle of the movie. Hear me out. What if Luke helps Ahsoka defeat the mother, and in that some darkness gets into Luke? That's a very easy way to make this make a little bit more sense too for some people. But by the same token, I guess what I'm saying is this is the Luke of this universe. And the point I was also going to say that I think is very interesting is if you read, and I still think we should do a show where we all read the Duel of the Fates script and talk about it. It's like one of my favorite Star Wars scripts in general. There is in that script, similar to the end of Last Jedi, which I loved, Kylo stays bad. So it adds a lot of weight to Luke wanting to kill Kylo if they keep that, because then ultimately the vision he saw for Vader was that there is redemption in Vader, right? That he could see the good in the vision the vision he had about Kylo. If you have that original third movie script for Duel of the Fates, was that there is no redemption for Kylo, and in that script there is no redemption for Kylo. So in that moment, it really pays off that he was stunned. And then he tried to kill a boy. And also, if that's the case, and that's what reeled him back, as we know, that then pays off this shame, and to your point, that he's supposed to be the bringer of the Jedi. And here he is standing over a scared boy about to kill him. That shame alone would want to make you hide yourself. And it wasn't like, it was a passing intrusive thought. Like, he ignited the green. So that to me makes sense either way, even without the third movie, if you don't have either third movie.
And for me, that scene in particular is another reason why I don't like that Luke, because it
makes him relatable.
No,
stop it, Ant.
no, because
not in the sense of
this is a guy who essentially
you're understanding that. Failed
leadership. This is a guy who essentially brought the darkest character in the known universe, Darth Vader, back. Who, arguably, Darth Vader did way more worse shit because he was at it for a lot longer than Kylo Ren. So, and he refused to let go of that belief. So I stand. My point on this, and this is just my thing against the sequels, I guess, so to say. Is that, oh no, I had a bad dream, let's go kill him.
Yeah, and I mean, like I'm saying, I think that this other script gives that a little more weight. But I'll also say, to the point you're making, one of my is a good friend, Ant knows him, Crispy TVC now, because he owns this vintage collection. He's my friend since I was 4. And The Force Awakens is probably my favorite Star Wars movie, because to me, even though I understand it's a rehash of A New Hope, it feels, and that Han Solo dies in that, boys, so that's saying a lot. It feels to me so much like Star Wars with this little bit of a modern take. But that said, my really good friend, and I don't agree with this at all, feels Han Solo is like not who he's supposed to be in that. He's like a bungler and like kind of and I love the take about being long in the tooth and kind of him having to get back to find the hero in him. So to me, that's not the case. So my friend is always dumbfounded that I love that movie, because he feels like it makes a mockery of Han. So I hear you, because that's how he felt about that movie for that reason. And I think it's just about, I mean, again, no such thing as peak Star Wars. Am I right, guys?
Correct. No, 100%. And I mean, like, saying Luke should be the same or even similar, as he is in the original trilogies, that'd be like saying Han should still be a smuggler, or Leia should have never touched the Force and still be holding a blaster, just allow it to evolve. But he's also he changes. He's not an idealist little boy anymore. He becomes a weathered old man who's fucked up, and he's come to terms with it, and he's a disgruntled old veteran.
I know. I was gonna say let's finish this, but if we have time for one more hot take, I'd like to take one from the comments that Hal Renner just dropped by accident.
Ooh. Go for it.
Okay. Hal Renner posted something that I have mused about quite often. He just said, he wasn't proposing a hot take. He just said, remake the OT. And I want to know how you guys feel about the prospect of remaking the original trilogy. I think that is a great hot take to end on, Hal Renner.
So I think I will say this much, and this could be potentially because I grew up with it. You know, I was around when they re-released it back in the late 90s with the, you know, like they call it remastering it and stuff. And I personally, I don't think it's needed. I think there's other things that they could do that would make better Star Wars content. Personally, is it the worst idea? No, I don't think it is at all. In fact, I think they can make it and probably do something really good. But I think focusing on something else would probably be a better idea.
Yeah, I would say there's much better things they could focus their money on, and it's not something that would excite me. And I don't know.
Arie, you want to go or should I? Because I got stuff to say.
I'll go and then you can drop in because I think you have more to say than I do.
I'll tell you guys this too quick from our Instagram feed. We got people just coming in hot saying hell no.
Okay, I'm gonna make my point. Okay. You go, Arie.
So, I think that brings in a really interesting thing to me about Star Wars in general, and one of my flaws with Book of Boba Fett is the inability to let go of the existing properties and characters and things. We need to make a CGI version of Leia. We need to make a CGI version of Luke rather than recast.
I'm fine with recasts. I'm fine with it.
And I think that the idea that Disney would say, let's go ahead and remake this because nobody wants anything new, is the same thing that we see with the lack of recasting. And it is bothersome to me. Also, this is an actual fact, not hot taking. Star Wars is taught in film school as a perfect story for Star Wars A New Hope. The idea of remaking that is problem.
So, okay, I have a couple of things for your point, and I'm going to say yes, but with a caveat about the OT. So when you hear my caveat, I think it's going to smooth things over before people stop following me on Instagram. But let me go first. I have a personal opinion. This is going to be my hot take, but this is like, I think we need to, for a while, or with a lot of content, get a bunch of fresh content that gets us the fuck out of this timeline. I think we need to go 100 years in the future. Listen, I love Jedi as much as anybody else. I don't know if I can watch another show. I'm more of a smuggler.
Sorry.
I mean, I like I don't like them as much as you, but no, I'm saying I love the Jedi. I love Star Wars. But so anyway, so my thing is, I don't know
in the future, there could be so many Jedi.
I don't know, but that's fine. I don't know how many more stories I can do. I don't know how many more stories I can live through. I mean, I'm going to live through them all and enjoy them, but I'm just like, do we have to keep going? The Jedi were great, but they were flawed. They had hubris and they failed because they were flawed, but they were all noble, but they didn't realize what was going on. We fucking get it. So like, I want something more fresh and in the future. Maybe the Jedi are completely wiped out and the Force is called something different. And, it gets uncovered. And by the end of that trilogy, you find out what the Force is. Something there. Anyway, that's another hot take for another day.
So we had a comment come in on Instagram from metal_fat, which said episodes 4, 5, and 6 are untouchable, case closed. And honestly, I really gotta agree with them.
So here's my argument. I do not think you should remake them as movies. What I would love to see is, because I'm not a Visions guy, is an animated series that is almost like a what if, that gives us an alternative take on the OT that is not canon, that's not its own thing, but I would love to get a cool, fresh take in like animated form, low stakes animated, not in a comic book, and let somebody say, here's the deal, everybody. We know this is going to be sacrilege. You could take it or you could leave it. But if you just want to see a different creator's take on Star Wars, akin to like a Visions, I'm just not an anime guy, so a lot of Visions doesn't do it for me, but I don't. It's all cool stories. Akin to that, but just kind of like, what is a different take on that? Just like Marvel does what ifs and DC does Elseworlds and things.
Yeah, but they could do a what if. They could do a Star Wars what if. We don't need what you're saying.
I disagree. I think there was a whole dispute a bunch of years ago. They did like a G.I. Joe comic series that was like, let's play with G.I. Joe, and like Duke was a traitor, and like as long as it's not in main canon, and it's something that you could just get. Like,
Yeah,
if you
well,
read
have
Star
it
Wars
be on,
Infinities, those miniseries, the Star Wars Infinities miniseries are awesome. You get the white cloak Vader, you get Yoda flying the fucking Death Star into Coruscant. Like, there is some cool shit in it. There's nothing wrong with wanting to see cool shit in an animated series. And OT is my favorite trilogy, like hands down. So I don't want them to remake that and then go, this new version is now canon, shot for shot with modern technology, or have them do anything different with it in a canon context.
So,
but I would love to see a fresh take on that.
You know what I would love
from an interesting writer.
Some stuff. It's story wise from that time frame, but it's outside of the trilogy, like Afra stuff, Yeah,
I'm into that. Yeah,
like,
but that's it's just that. Yeah, nobody's disputing that. I mean, but again, to my point, Afra is so interesting versus like having to watch the Jedi Rise and Fall 40 times to me.
Right.
So like that,
So we have a lot of chat coming in on Instagram, by the way. So we got Matarex Props who said, "Stop remaking things, make something new and creative."
That's
and
what I'm saying.
Saying there were a lot of battles during the Clone Wars. Why not pick one or two and tell those individual stories? Both of which are fantastic ideas.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, when I say Jedi Rise and Fall, any Clone Wars content you want to give me, just put a needle of it into my arm and pump.
Yes.
Like, so yeah, like it's like for me, like again, like I love all of it. I just think it's like primarily just getting away from this timeline for a little while. I think will provide for the fresh take I'm talking about. You can still use the thematic elements, but I'm
good with that.
I really do. I know it's like not a popular opinion, like the idea of some kind of an animated what if series, but instead of it being like individualized episodes, make it a season. And it's like, what if A New Hope, then a what if Empire, what if Jedi? They've done it in the comics and nobody has a problem. So now we'll just get to see it on a grander scale.
Yeah. And, to supplement what you're saying with getting away from that rise and fall, you guys have heard me say time and time again, my favorite Star Wars is The High Republic. And that's the book series that's been out for the last 5 years specifically. And you know what? It is so hard for me to care because I know where it's all going to. Like, the Jedi are just on this precipitous slope the whole time, and it's going straight to the rise of Sheev. And it's hard for me to stay invested with that. So I'm like, yes, give me something in the future. Give me something to the side. Give me something that isn't these characters that I know are going to die and be killed by Order 66. I don't want it.
And I'm kind of like, I mean, I think I'm super interested in the Stranger and his relationship with Plagueis, just because it's a new angle on the character and that history, and we don't know what happens to the Stranger. We know they play the Knights of Ren theme when you see his helmet, so that is again hyper interesting to me. It's just that laser focus on what you're saying, and that kind of plays into me wanting to see a different take in some kind of a what if TV show on the OT, because like I just want to hear some fresh takes. But my majority thing is, you don't need to touch the OT movies, if I'm just like that, my final point. And then let's get like 100, 200 years into the future, see how the galaxy advances. Like there was a Star Wars comic series from Dark Horse that did that like 300 years in the future. And it was pretty cool. They did some pretty interesting different stuff with it that I really enjoyed with Cade Skywalker.
Cade, baby.
All right, with that, we want to get into Collector's Corner now that we've lit the internet on fire. It sounds like you're telling me from Instagram.
Yeah, we will do that. We'll go ahead and get into we will get into Collector's Corner. Before we do that, though, we are going to do our shout out for SaberMax, of course, because that's kind of our thing that we do. Obviously, let's go ahead and we're going to share this. So this is one of their newer SE line. So it is the Kestis SE. So this is kind of like the more budget-friendly version of the Kestis, Cal Kestis lightsaber. So you can get this in baselit, NeoPixel, and Profi, varying, what do you call it? Blade lengths. Sorry. My brain's getting fried already. And they have an amazing promotion going on right now where there's 20% off site-wide if you spend $150. And then if you use my code, the Dadalorian Special, you actually get an additional $10 off. And there's a special reason why I am showing this one to you guys right now.
He's a special boy.
What's that?
Because you're a special boy?
Your special boy.
Something like that. Because I got something to show off.
Oh, you are
just kicking off Collector's Corner, subverting expectations on how we go in Collector's Corner. Arie must be creaming.
Indeed. So I am trying to, like I said earlier, guys, this is a new streaming platform. So I'm trying to figure out how to go to it and get out of this circle screen, which I don't know.
Now it's just you. There can be only one. This all seems so great.
So
you did so well up till now, and then the wheels fell off.
Four lost souls living in their souls.
Yeah.
So that's why there's four of them.
Yeah.
The funny part is I was like doing this earlier, and I was like, yeah, I could totally figure this out, but I think I'll be good from here.
Oh, there we go. He did it. Eric, don't touch anything.
Okay. Stop touching. Okay.
Stop touching.
No touching.
All right. But anyways, guys,
No
so
touching.
I'm going to go ahead and show this off right here. I've already done an unboxing on my Instagram, but so what makes this very special, and I'm so stoked to show it off, is it's the Cal Kestis lightsaber.
Oh,
times 2.
What?
How many lightsabers do you have now? I just got to know.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Once you get past 6, it's
8,
a lot.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 if you count this as 2.
So you're a Jedi battle master.
Yeah. So this is it though. So as you can see, the detail on this is exquisite. I can't ignite it right now because it'll definitely wake up my kids in the next room. But honestly, it is such a gorgeous saber. No. And something that is exceptionally cool about this. So you see it's got the connector to connect the two in the middle there. And
oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Connect. So
my favorite thing about the new Cal pack is that you have the smaller and longer lightsaber because I love that from the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So honestly, I got this from SaberMax at the same time they sent me the crossguard one, and honestly,
nice.
I'm really like I love the crossguard. It's probably my favorite, but like this is also just another one that I am absolutely in love with. The quick disconnect. No, like seriously, and the quick disconnect thing is just like absolutely awesome because it makes it so fun for like cosplays and stuff, which is good because that is the cosplay I'm currently working on is the Survivor Cal. So,
can't wait to see you with that mullet.
Yeah,
no, but yeah, this is just an exquisite one, guys. No mustache.
Joe Dirt coming in.
Dear Tay. But anyways, yeah, so I absolutely love this saber. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to display it because it's so massive with the double saber on it. So I'm still trying to figure that out, but getting there anyway. So but that's my collector corner, guys.
Wow, nicely done.
I'm going last because I have a little announcement for everybody. So you two boys fight it out.
Okie day. I'll go next.
Okie day.
So this is going to be a hot take in itself.
Ooh, yeah.
And my collector's corner item is an amazing character. So I'm going to do...
No, Jar Jar rips, man.
This is
I want to hear it.
Box, Star Wars. What line is this, Matt?
That's Attack of the Clones, I think, because that's him in his.
Is that all it's called? Attack of the Clones?
I think that was the packaging for Attack of the Clones, but I don't know if it's officially. That was when they started. Yeah, they started. It says Attack of the Clones at the bottom. That's when they started splitting the line into like Saga with the green green cards that were like OT.
I had that figure.
Yeah.
Perfect for role playing the collapse of the Republic.
Yeah.
I love Jar Jar.
Yeah, in the same thing that is, Palpatine is the monster that came for us all in that same room. Misa think we should grant power to the Supreme. Like it's literally like, but that's why we love Star Wars. There's no
the reason
Star
I'm
Wars.
using this as my collector's corner is because I would freaking love a Black Series of this figure because we could use him for so many scenes in my mind at least. So that'd be really cool. But this one is actually my wife's. She contributed to my collection here, and
nice.
she allowed me for keeping it safe. So I do that for her. You know what? Looking at this though, one that I don't think either of us ever had, Arie, was this Nikto Jedi Knight.
No, we did not.
I always wanted that one.
Jedi Knight. I really now I want that one.
Yeah,
I just want a Nikto figure for the love of God.
Anyway. Yeah, why not? So that's my collector's corner tonight.
Lovely.
Hell yeah, good choice.
Mine is hopefully not going to have too much of a glare. I'm going for art today.
Ooh, I
This
almost
is,
went.
Ooh.
This is the Marvel High Republic Phase 2, Issue 6, the Peach Momoko variant cover for Women's History Month, featuring
Oh, so cool.
Catley. It's really, truly beautiful work. She does really great work across the Marvel titles. And for the High Republic books, I've bought them all as collected editions, but when I saw this one on the shelf, I'm like, I'm gonna get that because I just need that art. So
I will say,
That's awesome.
highly recommend checking out her work.
for all my
yeah.
talk about the Jedi stuff, the High Republic, the Blade series is awesome.
Mhm.
So I guess it's my turn. So mine is a two-parter. I'm gonna show you some stuff that just entered my collection, and then I'm gonna help one lucky listener
Ooh.
add to their collection.
What might we have coming?
So first, what I want to show is I was one of the people that was lucky enough.
Help me.
One of the people. None of you are eligible.
Rats.
I'm one of the people that was lucky enough to get the Revenge of the Sith 2-pack. So I just wanted to show those figures from Comic-Con, showing Anakin now for those that are listening. And as you can see, the likeness is just fantastic. I'm not going to take out the other head just because I don't want to lose pieces. Like I'm just sitting here at this like TV dinner table. The articulation is phenomenal, and it's just such a great figure. The way you can hold the lightsaber, like I've already taken so many photos of these guys. Like it is just such
amazing
a cool
ones.
figure. And honestly, like Han is still my favorite figure of the year, and I'm usually not as much of an Anakin guy. There's something about this Anakin figure that is just goddamn magical. And then I also want to show Obi-Wan. So my favorite thing is everybody uses the Force hand like this, but I like to go like that because we can finally have Obi-Wan do it, which is really cool. And again, this is the portrait that's the angry Obi-Wan. I actually think this head's a little better than the other one, but it's essentially same articulation and all that. I won't show the base pieces, but I do want to show one thing on Anakin before I make the announcement to close out the cast. And that is one of the coolest things is, we always complain about the Jedi robes. They didn't do this on Obi-Wan. Anakin's robes are separate pieces from the torso, and they're in two separate chunks. So it really gives you a little more arm movement. But anyway, now that
really
I've shown
obnoxious
those,
for cosplay, by the way.
I was also lucky enough to have a friend of the cast donate something to us that we are going to be giving away to one lucky listener, and that is a sealed Revenge of the Sith box set. It is.
Hell yeah!
I took
This
it
is
out of the
awesome.
sleeve.
Wow.
We still
This is
have
definitely the best giveaway we've done.
Yeah, it's still. I still have the sleeve. It's fully done. I'm doing my best to keep obviously the corners for inbox people in a good spot. So I will do my best when it gets shipped out.
Nice.
I have it in like a padded box right now. So that is going to be our giveaway. So next week,
reveal.
Here is how you enter. We'll have a post going up at some point later tomorrow. The way to enter is that next week we will be doing one of our famous What If episodes. So on the Sith Happens post, what you will need to do to enter is follow the Sith Happens Instagram, _Dadalorian _Instagram, the IAM.NotACommittee Instagram, and the Black Series Daily Desk Instagram. So our 4 Instagrams. And then you will have to drop a what if you would like us to talk about on next week's episode. Now, I will say we will not be able to do everybody's. We will not be able to do. This is a very good prize. That's why there's a lot of.
It is a very good prize.
We will not be able to do everybody's what if we get a lot of entries, but doing those 5 actions will guarantee you a spot in the pool, even if we don't get to your what if. So that is something important to say, that when you're listening to the episode, if we don't get to yours, it does not mean you are out of the running, but that is the contest. Once again, it is when we put the what if post is, follow my page, follow Eric's page, follow Ant's page, follow the Sith Happens page, and then you drop which what if you want to hear. Howl Runner just asked where he does it. Once again, tomorrow we will have a post going up where you can do all of these things.
He's ambitious.
For most people, I think, that listen, they follow the 4 of us. We are going to have that as a collaborative post and pinned on all of our pages and frequently promote it. But again, it was a friend of the cast gave it to me, who's a great guy who wants to see us do
What if I won the giveaway?
Yeah, it's going to be on the Instagram post, by the way. But he's a great guy, and I think that for me,
made eligible.
Yeah. My inclination obviously was to keep it sealed for myself, but we love everybody that listens to us. We know sometimes we can be a little sporadic because we have life stuff. We've been doing this for more than a year now, and there are folks that comment on every live post. We have people that comment on everything we post. We have people that support us. This has been such a hotly debated availability type thing for the item. So I want to make sure that we're giving back to our fandom community and helping their collection. So once again, that post with directions will go up tomorrow, and I'm excited to get to announce the winner next week.
Yes, and you'll see that on all of our pages. Okay. The three of us and our podcast page will all have collaborated together on this thing, so that's where you'll see it. And how we're going to ask the question, just so it's clear, you drop your what if on that post.
Yes.
So, and that will be in the post.
True charity is an anonymous donation, as Jen said. So the person who actually gave it to me asked legitimately not to be named. So that's the only reason why I'm not naming them. But with that said, may the odds ever be in your favor. Now this is pod racing.
Thank you for
the wizard.
Wrong fandom. Wrong fandom.
Act of kindness.
Yes. Legitimately, thank you so much for that, for the anonymous benefactor. But let me tell you, man, so the Instagram chat is definitely blowing up. So I think you've blown a few people's minds with that.
Good.
But it also gets us followers. I'm not fucking completely altruistic. But yeah. And anybody who unfollows us is I'm just kidding.
You're ineligible.
Yes.
To us.
But with that being said, guys, that does wrap up the show for this week. We've been going for a hot minute now, so we need to wrap this up. So we want to thank everybody for joining us today, listening, and whether you're listening, watching, we really do appreciate you guys hanging out, coming to talk Star Wars with us, and we look forward to do it again. Please give us a follow on @Sith Happens _Star Wars podcast, and that is going to be the same location. You can find the post going up tomorrow for that giveaway. With that being said, there is a link tree on there which has all of our various links to our YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, the whole shebang. So please go in there, give us a follow on all those platforms, like and subscribe. We really do appreciate that. And with that, I'm gonna kick it over to our boys to sign off, starting with our guest host, Arie.
Friend of cast.
Friend of cast.
Friend of cast.
And just so we're clear, Hot Take Tuesday is all about riling people up and getting people talking with passion.
We'll do more of these.
I do not actually believe the chase has peaked Star Wars. I do love it, though. I believe almost everything I said without the sensationalizing. So, wrapping up, I am Arie Stardust.
All of it.
And
say your name
again. At Arie.Stardust. And you can see what sort of fun I'm up to on the Instagram there.
Beautiful. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Arie, as always. I am done out of committee on Instagram. Go ahead and pop in there. This has been a really great episode. I had a lot I could say about my hot take, but I'm just glad that we all share a safe space here to share these hot takes, and anyone who disagrees could say it on the internet, but I'm not even looking at the comments, so
I can't see the Instagram ones, just the YouTube ones.
I don't see any of it right now. So
Eric's on Instagram duty.
You say what you want to say. I'll think what I want to think. But no, this is a really fun episode, and I was happy to be here tonight with you guys. It's been great, and we'll see y'all next time.
Yeah, I just want to say one again, Arie, it's always a pleasure. I know I speak to you and Eric roughly every 20 minutes of every day, but seeing you having the same conversations we have in text in front of people is always fun. I do really appreciate you coming and doing a little bit of sports radio with me, as we were calling it.
Yeah.
And that was pod racing. But generally, just to echo and sentiment, I think it's a big galaxy, guys, and there's room for everything that everybody likes, and there's room to debate as long as you're polite about it. You can get passionate, you can get a little sensational, but in the end, everybody listening to this cast and everybody on it loves Star Wars, and that is what is the most important thing. And never lose sight of that when you're having a discussion with people about it, because in the end, the only reason you're having that discussion is because you both love something so much. That said, after my announcement of the contest, I am Black Series Daily Desk, and now I definitely have friends everywhere.
All right. Well, and once again, you guys, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you guys, talking some Star Wars. Be sure to catch us next week when we go live and announce the winner of the contest. With that being said, I'm Eric Dadalorian. Check me out, _Dadalorian_ on Instagram. This is the way.